Welcome back to the channel. Today's story follows Lina, a woman who walked away from her entire family for 6 years, believing she would never hear from them again. But one stormy night, her phone lit up with 89 missed calls in a single hour, forcing her to confront the past she had buried. Lina was the eldest daughter in a family that always expected her to sacrifice everything. From childhood, she was the responsible one who cleaned the house, looked after her younger siblings, and gave up opportunities so everyone else could succeed. Whenever something went wrong, she was blamed. Whenever someone needed help, she was expected to fix it. Her parents praised her siblings while treating her achievements as ordinary. Even after graduating and finding a stable job, they constantly demanded money, insisting that family comes first. Lina loved them deeply, but every visit left her emotionally exhausted. Birthdays were forgotten, her opinions were dismissed, and every disagreement ended with her being called selfish and ungrateful. The final breaking point came when her parents secretly used her savings to cover one of her brother's reckless debts. They didn't ask for permission. Instead, they expected her to accept it because she was the successful one. When Lina protested, her entire family turned against her. Her brother accused her of caring more about money than family. Her mother cried, saying Lina had embarrassed everyone. Even relatives she barely knew called to pressure her into forgiving them. No one apologized. No one admitted what had happened was wrong. That night, Lina packed a single suitcase, moved to another city, changed her phone number, and decided to start over. It wasn't an easy choice. She cried for weeks, wondering whether she had made a terrible mistake. Yet with every passing month, she slowly rediscovered herself. She built a successful career, made loyal friends, bought a cozy apartment, and finally experienced peace without constant guilt or manipulation. She celebrated birthdays with people who genuinely cared about her and learned that healthy relationships didn't require endless sacrifice. For 6 years, there was complete silence. No letters, no messages, no surprise visits. Then, on a rainy Thursday evening, everything changed. After finishing work, Lina made herself tea and curled up on the couch with a book. Her new phone suddenly buzzed with an unfamiliar number. She ignored it. Seconds later, another call came. Then another. Within minutes, dozens of unknown numbers appeared one after another. Confused, she silenced the phone, but the calls kept coming relentlessly. Notifications flooded the screen until she could barely read them. When she finally looked an hour later, she froze. 89 missed calls. Most were from different numbers, but a few had left desperate voicemail messages. One trembling voice said, "Lina, please answer. It's about your father." Her hands shook as she stared at the screen, unsure whether opening the door to her past would destroy the peaceful life she had spent 6 years building, or reveal a truth she never expected. Lina sat frozen on the couch, her untouched tea growing cold beside her. The glowing screen of her phone displayed 89 missed calls from unfamiliar numbers. Her heartbeat echoed in the quiet apartment as she pressed play on the first voicemail. "Lina, please, it's your mother. If you're listening, call us back. Your father, he's in trouble." She immediately stopped the recording. For 6 years she had imagined this moment in countless ways. She had wondered if they would ever apologize or if she would ever hear from them again. But she had never expected panic in her mother's voice. A second voicemail played. "Lina, this is your Aunt Maria. Please don't ignore us. We need you. It's urgent." The words "we need you" hit her harder than expected. Those were the same words she had heard throughout her childhood, yet never once had anyone asked what she needed. Memories flooded back, the nights she worked overtime to pay family bills, the birthdays everyone forgot, and the cruel accusations when she refused to sacrifice everything for her brother's mistakes. She locked the phone and walked to the window, watching rain fall against the city lights. Her closest friend, Emma, noticed Lina was online and called. "Lina, are you okay?" Lina explained everything. Emma listened quietly before asking, "Do you think they've changed?" "I don't know," Lina admitted. "Part of me wants answers. Another part wants to delete every message." Emma gently reminded her that whatever she chose, she didn't owe anyone access to her life simply because they were family. That sentence gave Lina the strength to think clearly instead of reacting emotionally. She decided to listen to the rest of the voicemails. One after another, relatives begged her to respond. Some cried. Others apologized. A few simply repeated that her father had made terrible mistakes and desperately wanted to see her. Yet one message stood out above all the others. It came from a lawyer. "Ms. Lina, my name is Daniel Foster. I represent your father. He specifically requested that you be contacted. There are important documents that concern you directly. Please contact my office as soon as possible." Lina frowned. A lawyer? This was no ordinary family emergency. Curiosity finally outweighed fear. The next morning she called the lawyer instead of her family. Daniel answered immediately, as though he had been waiting. "Ms. Lina, thank you for calling. Your father is in the hospital after suffering a heart attack. Before losing consciousness, he confessed to something that has affected your life for many years." Lina's stomach tightened. "What confession?" There was a long silence. "He admitted that 6 years ago, you never gave permission for your savings to be taken. He forged your signature, convinced your family to lie, and allowed everyone to believe you abandoned them over money. Yesterday he confessed everything." Lina felt the room spinning. For 6 years she had believed her entire family knowingly betrayed her. Now she discovered they had been told a completely different story. The lawyer continued carefully. "After learning the truth, your mother, siblings, and relatives tried desperately to contact you. That's why your phone received so many calls." Tears filled Lina's eyes, not because her father was ill, but because the foundation of 6 painful years had suddenly cracked apart. Had they all been manipulated? Or was this simply another attempt to pull her back into the same toxic cycle? She looked at the business card the lawyer emailed her, took a deep breath, and realized she was standing at a crossroads. Visiting the hospital could finally give her the answers she had searched for, but it might also reopen wounds she had spent years healing. With trembling hands, Lina picked up her car keys and quietly whispered, "It's time to learn the truth." Lina drove to the hospital in complete silence. Every mile brought back memories she had tried to leave behind, family dinners that ended in arguments, sleepless nights worrying about everyone else's problems, and the painful evening she walked away with nothing but a suitcase and a broken heart. By the time she reached the hospital, she still wasn't sure whether she had come for closure or simply to prove to herself that she no longer feared the past. The lawyer met her in the lobby and escorted her to a quiet waiting room. Her mother, younger brother Ethan, and younger sister Sophie were already there. The moment Lina stepped inside, the room fell silent. Her mother stood first, tears streaming down her face. "Lina. I'm so sorry." Lina didn't answer immediately. She had imagined this reunion hundreds of times, but nothing prepared her for the guilt she saw in their faces. Her brother slowly stepped forward. "I owe you an apology. Dad told us you agreed to lend me the money. When you left, he said you were ashamed because you had changed your mind and didn't want anything to do with us anymore. We believed him." Sophie wiped her eyes. "We should have asked you. We should have listened to your side. We failed you." For a long moment, no one spoke. Finally, Lina asked the question she had carried for 6 years. "Not one of you thought to call me before I changed my number? Not one of you wondered why I would suddenly abandon everyone without explaining?" Her mother lowered her head. "I was angry. I believed your father. Looking back, I realize I chose the easier story instead of the truth." Those words hurt more than any argument ever had. The lawyer handed Lina a sealed envelope. Your father asked me to give you this. Inside was a handwritten letter. Lina, if you're reading this, I may not have much time left. I lied because I couldn't admit I had stolen your savings after losing so much money. I forged your signature and convinced everyone you had agreed. When you left, I let them blame you because I was too ashamed to tell the truth. I destroyed our family to protect my pride. I don't expect forgiveness. I only hope you can finally know you were never the villain. Everything was my fault. Tears rolled down Lina's face. She entered her father's hospital room. He looked older and weaker than she remembered. Tubes surrounded him, and machines beeped softly in the background. He slowly opened his eyes. Lina. She stood beside the bed. I came because I deserved the truth. He nodded weakly. You did. I'm not here to erase the past. I know. You stole 6 years from us. He closed his eyes, unable to deny it. I'm sorry. Lina took a deep breath. I forgive you, not because you earned it, but because I don't want to carry this anger for the rest of my life. Her father quietly cried. A few days later, he passed away peacefully. After the funeral, Lina met with her mother and siblings one last time. They talked honestly for hours, something they had never done before. They admitted their mistakes, accepted responsibility for believing lies, and promised never to hide behind silence again. Lina didn't move back home, nor did she pretend 6 years of pain had disappeared overnight. Trust couldn't be rebuilt in a single conversation. Instead, she chose slow, careful steps. Occasional phone calls became family dinners. Family dinners became holidays together. Healing came little by little. Months later, while cleaning her apartment, Lina looked at the old screenshot of 89 missed calls. Once, it had symbolized fear, betrayal, and heartbreak. Now it reminded her of something else. Sometimes the truth arrives painfully late. Sometimes forgiveness doesn't erase the past. And sometimes the strongest decision isn't walking away, it is returning just long enough to find the truth, set healthy boundaries, and finally move forward with peace.